My name is Alex, and I thought I was lucky when I scored a spot in one of the older, ivy-covered dorms on campus. It had an eerie charm that appealed to my love for history and all things vintage. Little did I know that this place held secrets darker than any history book could reveal. The first signs of something amiss came subtly. A cold draft that made the hairs on my arms stand on end, even when the windows were tightly shut. Odd creaks and whispers that echoed through the narrow hallways at night, almost as if the building itself was alive, murmuring ancient tales of sorrow and despair. As the days turned into weeks, I started noticing peculiar patterns. Roommates would move out unexpectedly, leaving behind hushed rumors of strange occurrences. Some claimed to have seen shadows moving across the walls, while others spoke of nightmares that seemed to bleed into waking reality. But being the skeptic I was, I brushed it all off as mere coincidences and overactive imaginations. That is, until I experienced it myself. It was a moonless night, the kind that blankets everything in an impenetrable darkness. I was lying in bed, struggling to fall asleep, when I heard it. A faint, distant melody. At first I thought it was just my mind playing tricks on me, but the tune grew louder, more haunting, as if it was drifting through the very walls of the dorm. I sat up, my heart pounding against my ribs. The melody was a kingly beautiful yet suffused with a sense of melancholy that sent shivers down my spine. Without realizing it, I found myself following the sound, navigating the labyrinthine corridors until I arrived at the door of the basement. The music was undeniably coming from within. With trembling hands, I pushed open the heavy door and descended the creaky steps. The air grew colder, the atmosphere heavier with each step I took. And then I saw her, an ethereal figure standing in the dim light, her hair cascading like a waterfall of shadows. She was playing an old grand piano, her fingers dancing across the keys with an otherworldly grace. I was both mesmerized and terrified, unable to tear my gaze away from the haunting scene before me. She looked at me with eyes that held a lifetime of sorrow and whispered, "Do you hear my song, mortal? The song of lost souls trapped within these walls." I tried to respond, but my voice caught in my throat. The music swelled, filling the space around us, drowning out the sound of my racing heart. I felt a strange compulsion, a desire to join her in her melancholic symphony. Then, as if snapping out of a trance, I blinked and found myself back in my room, drenched in cold sweat. The melody still lingered in my ears, haunting and beautiful. I questioned my sanity, wondering if it had all been a dream, a result of stress and exhaustion. Days turned into weeks, and I tried to forget that surreal encounter. But the dorm seemed to have a grip on me, its secrets unfolding like a sinister tapestry. I delved into its history, uncovering tales of a gifted pianist who had lived in the dorm decades ago. She had vanished mysteriously, leaving behind only her music as a testament to her existence. The more I learned, the more the pieces fell into place. The dorm was a vessel for her lingering spirit, forever bound by her unfinished symphony and the heartache that had led her to her untimely end. And now, it seemed, she was reaching out to me, drawing me into her world of sorrow and despair. One night, unable to resist the pull any longer, I found myself back in the basement. The piano stood there, waiting, and the melody started once more. As I approached the keys, a cold breeze brushed against my cheek, and I knew she was there with me. With trembling fingers, I played the next notes of the melody, joining her in a haunting duet that echoed through the darkness. And as the last notes faded into the night, I felt a profound sense of release, as if the spirit had finally found solace. The dorm felt different after that night, lighter, as if the weight of its secrets had been lifted. The shadows seemed less menacing and the whispers grew fainter. I had helped a lost soul find peace, and in doing so I had also found my own sense of closure. But sometimes, on nights when the moon hides behind thick clouds, I can still hear a faint echo of the melody, a reminder of the thin veil that separates the living from the dead. And I'm reminded that even in the most unexpected places, the past can weave a tapestry of darkness that only the bravest souls dare to unravel.